Patrick, thank you so much for being here with me today. I understand this is the first of its kind in terms of all three territories gathering to talk about the future of education in French language. So tell me why now? Why is this happening right now?
So the college is part of a national organization called RESDAC, le Réseau pour le développement de l'alphabétisme et des compétences, and so is Association franco-yukonaise and Association des francophones du Nunavut. And as part of that national group, there was a national summit in 2024, I believe, where everybody throughout Canada got together in Ottawa to discuss the future of education. And one of the things that came out is that we needed to go back to our own provinces and territories to kind of assess our own realities. So far, there's been a summit for New Brunswick, there's been one for Alberta, and we're the third one in line. But when it came to us, we decided to ask if there's a way we could do it, the three territories together, to pull our resources, our idea, our perspectives, and they said yes. So we developed our own one-of-a-kind summit for the three territories.
Yeah, tell me what's come up so far in the summit.
I think we've discussed a lot about our similarities, our differences, and ways to work together. It turns out we have a lot more in common than we think oftentimes. And we know that, we have all these challenges of distance, geography, cost of doing everything in the north. But when we pool our resources, we can actually accomplish a lot more. And just this summit is a great example because we organized the three organizations together, and we're able to do so much more than if we had done it individually.
Tell me about, just from these conversations, what's your assessment of the overall strength of the French language? I know you're in the Northwest Territories, but if you could talk about across the three territories.
French is strong and alive in the three territories. It's actually an official language of the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and also Nunavut, which is not the case in many provinces. Actually, there's only Quebec and New Brunswick that have French as an official language. So I think because of that, we have some rights and we have access to services that perhaps we would not get otherwise. In terms of numbers, at least in the Northwest Territories and the Yukon, we're actually quite large. We're about 10% here of Francophone or Francophiles in the Northwest Territories, which is quite big because when you compare with, let's say, Ontario, where it's about 5%. So there's a lot of people that speak French, and the community is very vibrant.
And what about some of the concerns that are coming up?
Well, even if in percentage we are 10%, which is quite good, these numbers remain small, so our pools are quite small, and we know that young people in Northwest Territories tend to go away for studies, which makes sense because there's not a lot of opportunities to study here. So we lose our young people, and we need to be able to attract them back or attract new people and retain them so that our French community can stay alive and strong and as dynamic as it's been. So I think this is definitely a challenge. The small pools and the cost of doing everything and the distances as well, because we have people who speak French in Inuvik and Hay River and Fort Smith and Yellowknife, and it can be incredibly hard to serve all these communities.
I mean, you mentioned Inuvik and Fort Smith there. Those are two communities that recently lost their elementary French immersion. I wonder what conversations have happened here around that and what people are saying.
I can only speak for myself, but I'm obviously very disappointed to see this happen. In Francophone education, the continuum is extremely important. We need people to have access to education from pre-K and kindergarten all the way to post-secondary. If we break that continuum, we lose people because they know that once they reach a certain level, they won't have access to education in the language. So it's prohibitive. People will then change and study in English just to have more opportunities. And when you lose kindergarten or elementary school, then you really lose the beginning of the funnel. So it's definitely going to impact us. Those communities don't have French schools, so really all they had was the immersion pathway. So taking that away is really a step back for our community.
Is there any way that you could, or one could, fill that gap?
I don't have any idea how to do that. I think we need immersion programs in French schools in those communities to allow kids to learn the language and to keep the language alive and the culture.
And finally, what do you think is the future of French in the territories? What is your vision for that?
I'm very optimistic about the future for learning in the post-secondary level, but also for informal, like community learning or workshops. I see a lot of synergies and collaborations among the three territories, and I think that's definitely going to help us reach our next level in development.
I do actually have one more. What are you hoping comes out of this conference? Do you hope there will be any recommendations, or is it more of a conversation?
It's the start of a conversation because in the North, people, I think, assume that we already all know each other and collaborate, but there's a lot of red tape in education. So up to now, like these conversations have not really happened that much. And of course, we don't get the chance to meet in person that often. So what I hope that we see here is that people will connect, get to know each other, will stay in touch, and it'll be the beginning of something more.
Patrick, merci beaucoup.
Merci.